I had done a lesson on my CS2 workflow, and now that I'm kind of into the heat of the season here, I want to update it just a little bit because I'm used to cranking this out each night. And what I did was I just shot today's sessions, and I haven't even seen them yet, so I'm going to show you what it looks like here as soon as I get them home. The big difference here is that I'm running a very small portion of the screen to keep the video smaller. Normally this is a full screen and I'm seeing a lot more at once. But here's today, and when the images first come up, they come up without my default settings. So you're seeing everything I shot. I haven't even looked at these yet today, and right now you're seeing my default settings being applied. This is the way they come in. You can see the color is off, but the color is on here. And if I click that one, we can see directly from the camera there's been no alterations done whatsoever. This one just changed, this one changed, this one changed. You can see this one's just changed, this one's a little green, just changed. And what it's doing is going through and applying my default settings, which I set up in CS2 in the previous video, and it is slowly applying those to each of my shots here. You can see that she's green here, it's coming up right there, and if I click one of these that's off color, you'll see it's small, and as soon as it updates it, it applies it in the larger size. Again, it's small, hasn't applied the default settings that I put into it yet, and there they are. Same here. There's my default settings. So all of these that you're seeing are direct from camera. Another one, it's applying. When you click on one, it tends to jump ahead and fix that one for you. Apply the settings. See, back here we're still green. Otherwise, it does them in order. That'll apply the settings. Here's a setup. Because of her hair flow, I know that her hair flow goes to my right when she's facing. So what I did was I went in here while she's changing from this outfit to the blue here. I went and shot this as a setup for you folks, and it's something that I might stick on later, but it's pretty much a setup that I've done before. But I have it all tilted and all ready for her hair flow direction and everything. I'm already planning which way she's facing while she's changing into the outfit. And here's the shot. There's her hair flow to the right. What was funny about this session is I did her sister back in '95. Mom brought in one of the 8x10s, and it was kind of cute seeing a sister of somebody I did so long ago. Really cute girl. But it's still applying, and you can see all these direct from camera now using my default settings. So that's what's so cool. I'm going to right click. Let's see if I can do this and keep it in the recording window. And you'll see I have Ron's outdoor defaults. I have normal defaults for Photoshop, which are the way it normally comes in. I have my defaults, which I showed in the CS2 video. And I even have a high key, when I have my high key background on half power, I have defaults for that. So I can have it call up special settings for my high key, which will bump up the white of the background a little bit. So we're still applying. You can see one here that just was applied. And because it's digital, I'll leave things like light stands. My light stand's in the shot. It looks like it'll crop and be in the shot, but I know I can wipe that out of there so easy that I'll just leave little flaws. That's a cute shot. And again, it's slowly applying these. So what I'll usually do is come home, copy them over to the home computer, call up the bridge here, and then walk away, because it'll take a good 15, even up to 20 minutes or so to apply all the settings before I start working on them. But it's kind of neat that we're both seeing these all direct from camera with no modifications whatsoever. Now you can see I have my background light spun around as kind of a kicker light here. But when I crop this, when I see this in a pro crop, it will be cropped about here and about here. So of course that's out. My background issue looks like it's going to be in the shot, but again, I know I can artwork that in just a few seconds to tweak it. And these are just changes in expression. We have proper hair flow, smile and serious. We have cross camera, Masculine tilt, again for proper hair flow, looking the other way. Smile and serious. I usually do serious first. That way when I go for the smile, I feel it's fresher instead of having them hold a smile. There's something interesting here I'd like to bring up. I talk about cutting limbs off, and I don't like that. She had such a pretty face that I was kind of locked in on her face, but I noticed as I shot, I had that nasty limb coming down here, getting cut off. It's a vertical, which I don't like, and chop, I don't like it at all. But I thought, well, when we crop it right here, there isn't much there. I can vignette it and kind of fade it out, but it still bothered me. So I threw a plant in there just to have it kind of fade out so it doesn't get chopped off. I also pulled back just a touch. But with digital, I tend to get a little sloppier, so I'll shoot it and then fix it on the next shot. Where with film, because each shot cost money as far as film and proofing, I wouldn't even have bothered shooting that. I would have fixed it first. But I thought that's neat to show them. So these are everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the flaws. Again, you can see there's a cord here. What would that be? That's the cord from my hair light, I believe. And again, because of the Pro Crop, I know that I'm cropping right here and right about here so that that's not in the shot. We have serious. And I might have said give me a little more grin here, a little more smirk, and then let's go for the smile. And we've got smile version. It's actually acting like it's bogging down here a little bit. It's probably got a lot to do. Again, same thing here. I don't like this leg, but I know my Pro Crop showed that I'm cropped out right there, so I kept that out of the actual composition. Same up here with all this extra space. And we just played around with the violin a little bit. She's quite musical. She's had piano for 13 years, she said, and I think it was 8 years on violin. In addition, she's gorgeous. Really cute young lady. Look at that smile. Now I shot this and I liked it, but not quite enough shadow on the face, so I tried to push the main light around behind her more, and you'll see that start to happen here too, I think. I think I went into a different shot. I went into that. These are all direct from camera, just my default settings. I can see that this is a little dark, so I will go in there and actually tweak those a little bit, but I first let them all convert. Here I push that light around back to get a little more drama. So I actually went back and revisited this pose, and the way it started was like this, and you can see that the front side of her face there is just a little bit too much light, not enough drama. So I went back and pushed that light around back, and now you can see the kicker light, which was my background light back here, hitting her hair, adding this nice line to the back of her arm. It's just really pretty, even putting a little light here on the bow. Shot several versions of this. Again, I'm running out of background over here. I know that with the Pro Crop that's not going to be an issue here and here. I can even artwork it in. Since I'm busy creating, I don't want to waste time running around pulling a little bit of background over when I know that I can adjust that so quickly in Photoshop. Now, she's a piano player. She asked if we had a piano. We didn't. I intend to shoot a piano here at home and see if I can work it in here. But I thought this looked like she was at a piano so much that I raised it up a little bit. We did another piano pose here, which I'll eventually artwork in some kind of keyboard or something here. But I raised the table and thought, looks like she's at a piano here. So what I'm going to do is probably artwork in a little curve here for the edge of the piano, maybe make it shiny, and see if I can't lay some keys in here and make it look like she's at a piano. I told her, I said, no promises, but let me see what I can do. And I said, let's do something kind of artsy. I've seen lots of these and done them before. The cool thing is you're seeing them first time, every shot that we have taken. And also, I thought there was an eyes closed up here. Let's run back. So our headshots. Number 1, just change the eyes, cross camera, cross camera. Oh, so then what I'll do is right click and do send to recycle bin, and that one's gone. Pleasant. Here I have just main light. Here I've used the reflector in my hand low, which kicks a little more light up into the eyes. And a lot of times I'll compare the two, and I might delete one. Or if I like them both, I'll keep both. Smile version. These two again are very similar. I will delete one. But I don't usually delete them until after the proofs are made. I'll go through with X and View and flip through these real quick just before uploading them to ProLab for proofing. And then I'll delete the JPEGs. That way I've always got the RAWs. It's really difficult for me to delete a RAW unless I know it's absolutely a worthless shot that has eyes closed. Very cute again. I like that. Again, you can see the bottom of my background here, and the Pro Crop, when I look in the camera, I see that, but I know it's not the shot because I can see my line right here, and I can see my other line up here, so I know my 8x10 crop is right here. Let's throw a little smile version in there. But look at my color exposure, everything, and how close it is. Talk about great workflow. Shoot, shoot, shoot. What I've also been doing is when I set my default settings, let's go in and look at one of these. When I set my default settings, I don't know if I can get this small enough. Let's try. Let's go here. I believe I had my exposure pushed a little bit because I was underexposing intentionally. So what I did for my defaults is actually push this up a little bit. And I thought that's probably not the smartest way to go. What I've done is kept my default settings, put this on 0, so perfect exposure. Exposure of what Photoshop feels is perfect. And now I've been watching my histogram more closely to make sure that it's as accurate as possible on exposure. And even though I'm looking at my LCD and most of my review of looking at my images look a little light and washed out, I look at that histogram on the camera and it looks, so right on that I just kind of ignore what I'm seeing on the LCD, and I've just been going with that histogram, and I'm trying to make the exposure come in as accurate as possible when I'm set here to 0.00, so that it's really been working nice. So let's get rid of this. I'm going to do a cancel, and it's still working, and it's probably, I see it's down here in the next young man. And you can see I did one of these low tricky things, and because the ceiling shows, we'll have to artwork that if he orders from it. I shot a ball separate in case I want to take one of these shots and paste the ball in close. Do a little digital effect here. It's changing all his colors. It looks like it's all the way down here. All the color looks good. There's the next young man. It has those all adjusted. I see I had a misfire here. Sometimes I get that. One of the slaves doesn't trip. So I'll just do a send to recycle bin. And we'll scroll down. Here's a high key straight out. Here's the next senior after that. And look at how close these are. I mean, this is just phenomenal. It's just been great this year. All direct from camera, just as shot. I see I got something a little crazy there. I used to have a brochure taped on my light to block it, and I think that, I've never noticed that before, I think that may have fallen off. It was just taped on there because I'm seeing this hot spot. Luckily it's digital and we can get rid of that, but next time I go in the studio I'm going to need to take a look and see why that's doing that and see if I can block it off again. It appears to have gotten way down here. Color and everything's looking really good. I think it may be done. Now, the only thing that needs to be changed usually, it's using default settings, and that's usually my outdoors. So what I'll often do is take the first shot, outdoors. All the outdoors are last because the numbering system is different because I use a different camera. So instead of GX2M, my other camera numbers them VG8s. So they're always at the end. So what I'll do is select all the outdoors like I just did. do a right click. Let's do this. Let's see if I can do it higher so we can keep that in the window. Right click and do a Ron's Outdoor Defaults. And it will now apply my outdoor defaults to all these. And here's one that had the indoor defaults. You'll see that change to my outdoor defaults here. And you can see the color just improved. It's adding the vignette. It's going to do the same here. He looks a little washed out, a little contrasty, a little yellow. And because I'm outdoors, the metering system on the camera is not as accurate as shooting inside. Inside, we're set at our f-stop. As long as I use a strings distance on the main light, I'm going to get accurate exposure here. But outdoors, the meter of the camera is metering overall here. And if they have a light shirt on, it tends to underexpose a little. If they have a dark shirt on, it tends to overexpose a little. So then what I'll do is come in here and take my first shot. And all I need to do, because the color's looking pretty good, is just bump the exposure a little bit, maybe bump the color a little bit, maybe add just a touch of warmth, say done, and apply that to all like images again. Previous conversion. And it will apply those same settings to these similar poses. Also, I found that the meter also changes, like here, between these two. This one definitely looks darker than this one. So even though it was the same shot, the camera adjusted the exposure for this particular shot, which is a little crazy. I haven't found the meters to be all that accurate in these Canons, but I may need to try one of the other metering choices. I think I'm using center weighted. But I can go in here and just bump the exposure on those just a touch to help them match. So it will go through and apply, and the rest look pretty good. They look like they're exposed fairly accurately. But you can see how close everything comes in color-wise. Look at that. I mean, he might be a touch yellow. And I may go through and adjust exposure just a little bit. Let's take some yellow out of there, add just a touch of magenta. Pump up the color a little bit and say done. And again, we're going to apply that to all like images. So I'm going to say previous conversion, and it's now going to make these changes go to these images as well. But I just kind of wanted to update the workflow here. And she might be a touch dark. Let's call up one and see. No, really she's not. She's just actually just bumping up slightly overexposed, so we can actually bring that down just to get rid of that bump on the histogram. She might be a touch yellow, so you can just bump that down. Each person tends to need just maybe a little color adjustment because their skin color is a little different. And then from there I might come down to the bottom of the traditionals and do a, let's do this up here again so you can see a previous conversion, and it will now apply the settings that I just adjusted here on this image. You can see this is slightly yellower. It's going to go through and it's going to apply those new color settings to each of these images here on the head and shoulders. Down here, these last ones, I had to move the main light for this particular shot, and they seem maybe a little light, a little overexposed, so I'll pick this first one. And part of that is because she's in a spot where it's in a corner, and it's really difficult for me to get the light back far enough. So I might have it in a little closer than a string's distance, and we can see that it is peaked here quite a bit. So she's slightly overexposed in the highlights. We'll just drive that exposure down just a touch. I'm watching the histogram. And I actually like the looks of it there. It's probably peaking here in the red more than the face shows because she's wearing a reddish shirt. So if we go down all the way to where we don't overexpose that shirt, the face may be too dark, and it is. So that's where I override and adjust for the face. Add a little warmth. I might cut the contrast a little bit. Still a little too warm. That's better. We'll say done. You can see it darken. Now this looks good, more comparable to the other head and shoulders where these look a little bright. So we're going to select all by holding shift and say previous conversion, and it will now darken each of these. It's doing them backwards so that they match. And I'll go through here and tweak these, but it looks like they're all quite good as far as exposure goes. A lot of times if they'll get a mixed session with, say, a Creative Deluxe inside and maybe some outdoor, sometimes they'll throw in black and white too. So to do black and white while I'm batch processing all the files here, I'll go through and pick several that I think will look good in black and white. And I can, oh, we're large again. Let me reduce this for you. Okay, and all I'll do then is just desaturate at this point, maybe up the contrast a little bit, maybe even darken the shadows just a touch, and pop up the exposure, just so it looks good. And then I'll do a done, and it will change that. Now that we have our settings, I can now go through and say, okay, the session included 10 black and whites. I've got 1, 2, what else would look good in black and white? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you kind of look at the shots that you think will look good in black and white. 8, 9, 10, and then simply do a previous conversion here, and all of those will turn black and white. And you do this step just before you have you call up the Photoshop tools image processor. So when you make your proofs are black and white. And that's how I get a black and white session. Then let's see here, what else can I add to the workflow? As I said, what I do once they're all tweaked, I'll go in here, I'll select all, I will do tools, I will do Photoshop, image processor. Comes up with save as JPEG, quality 8, 1500 by 1500, which is 250 pixels in the longest dimension, which will be a 6-inch, 4 by 6-inch proof, and convert to sRGB. It already is, but I just have that to be safe. And include ICC profile, so it has that sRGB profile in there for ProLab Express. I type run, and I walk away and go have dinner, as I mentioned before. While it's processing these, and really there isn't much to see at this point while it processes. Alright, once all the proofs are made, which we've completed here, we call up X in View and go into this view here. And again, I'm keeping this small to keep it in the video. Normally I'll see 2 lines here and a fairly large picture here down below, but I'm going to go for 1 and go like that. And actually, let's make it a little bigger here, and we'll just keep the stuff that's important. And then what I do is use the arrow keys to flip back and forth, and keep my fingers on delete and yes, the Y key. Like I like that, I don't like that, looks slightly cross-eyed, so I'll hit delete and yes. And again, these are similar. I'll pick one and delete one. She's got a little funny mouth there. And not nuts about that either. Those two are similar. A little stronger here, a little weaker there. Strong's almost too strong, so we'll kill that. Too strong here again, we're going to kill that. And those are both real cute. Nice smile there and there. They're both similar. This one seems a little thinner there, so I'm going to kill that one. This is without the reflector and with the reflector. I believe I like with. Gets rid of the shadows under her eyes. Stronger or a little weaker. Let's go with the weaker. Serious smile. I like all those. This one has the reflector. And those two are similar. I just came in a little tighter. I think I like the tighter. Similar again. Too happy there. That's a setup for you folks. I'll post later. You can see here that the transformer, the power unit for my hair light is over in the right. I was going to shoot it and artwork it out, and I thought, nah, it's too much work. So I slid it out for the second shot and reshot it, so let's delete this one. And those two are similar also. Looks like I recomposed. So we have a serious and a smile. We'll keep both of those. I do like that better. I think I moved the reflector out. So let's kill that one. See if there's something similar to that. Yeah, we'll keep that in there. Nose doesn't break the line of the face again here. I like it looking up. With reflector, I think I like a little better, but I like them both, so I'll leave them. Ooh, I like this better. Let's kill that. So, okay, so we're going to go through this whole process, and once we get all the extras and the ones we don't like edited out, I'll show you the next step coming right up. I did two sets here because I had to do some artwork. This is the directory for the day. We have 725 and the raw files, plus the ones I artworked here. These are PSD files in case I need to re-artwork them. We come down and we have JPEG. Normally I don't have an old JPEG, but I did them twice because of the video. So we have just a JPEG file. We go in there, and let's go over to ProLab Express here a minute. Let me call that up. I'm going to shrink down the browser to fit in the window again. I was just replying to this thread. Let's make this even smaller so it fits in the window. And I'm going to do a drag and drop. I put in the day's dates. I say proofs 725. Eddie says to click here first, so I do, and it actually does help quite a bit. We go back here to the proofs. This is simply the proof file. Actually, we're looking here in Bridge, so let's get rid of that a minute. Let me open it on the drive. I'm clicking my computer, my iDrive, which is my picture drive. I'm clicking Studio Directory 2006, going down to 725, which is here. I'm going into the 725. I'm going, let's go up one. These are all the dates. Going back into it, and created in the raw files here a JPEG directory. These are all the shots after I made them up, and I believe, see, there's even some black and whites in here. He had a black and white session added. So these are all JPEGs in the 4x5 size, actually 4x6, and I've explained that before, but the lab will crop them off because I'm going to order them in 4x5s. So I'm going to just click Control A, which is select all, and everything is now selected. And I'm just going to drag and drop down here. They all appear. We can get rid of this window. I can say upload, and the upload process now starts. And I'm going to stop the video here while it uploads, and we'll restart it once I have everything appearing as far as thumbnails on PLE's website. Okay, we're all done with the upload. Once we upload, we have a gallery name of proofs 725, and like all my proofs are up here. I can look up any one of them. I can look up orders by the client's name, or I can look up the proofs for the entire month or the past. I think they hold them for 3 months maybe. So anyway, we're going to stay here where we are, and we have all thumbnails of everything that was uploaded, which is all the shots of the 725. I'm going to say select all, and what that does is it puts a little check mark on every image. Okay, and that means that every image is selected. I'm now going to say I want a 4x5 proof. These are actually not cropped to 4x5 yet. Remember, they're 4x6. You can see the extra space above her head and the extra space down here. So, because I don't bother cropping them to prepare them, but when they print a 4x5, their machine will automatically take the center portion, so it'll take a ½ inch off the top and bottom, so they will crop them for me. I'm going to say add logo because I have my logo added to the corner, and I can say where to put it. I'm going to leave it in the lower right. So 4x5 proofs of everything, quantity of proofs 1 each, And I'm not going to do any finish. You can do the finish that stops people from scanning them and taking them. A lot of people do that as an option. I just do no finish. I don't have a lot of problem with that. I say add to cart. And you get the, on the cursor here, we get the little hourglass, which means it's adding those to the cart. We can also see down here in the bottom that the task is being worked on. And let me see if I can call up how many proofs there were here. While we're waiting for that, picture drive, studio, 2006, 725. Go down to the JPEGs, select all, and Windows says there is 181 proofs there. So just that quickly, we had that take place. I'm going to click View Cart. Let's see if I can make this a little smaller so we can keep it all in. My internet connection is slower than most, so, but that was still tolerable. $44 for all those. They're 24 cents each. The logo, there's a logo cost here, I believe. Right here, $1.15 to do the entire set of proofs. So this is shopping cart. We go to the very bottom. We say proceed checkout. Then we go to billing and shipping, and my default information is in there. I'm going to do next, and it says ship method. We can do UPS ground for no cost. Click next. And the standard billing, which goes to house photography again, which is continue. We put in my credit card, which if you don't mind, I'll slip that out a minute. I'm picking the month and the year and the security code, and I click continue. And the page changes to cash that out. And it now shows my order. If I want to sit and wait, it will show each thumbnail again. And it'll say review your order. We click submit order. So I know I did it right. I can see 4x5 proofs, 181. The fewer items you have in your cart, the faster this is as well. It's processing all those proofs that I had, all 181 images. And here comes the confirmation. Order confirmation gives you an order number, says that it's all set. And what's cool is, I'm going to see if I've got one yet. This was order 35356. And if we watch email here, receiving message 1, just this quick. See, in my inbox, I have my personal mail, I have house photography, I have next year's seniors, people that request a brochure and they graduate the next year. Portranet, my IMs that people send me in Portranet, and then I have ProLab Express here. And we just took one in, and this was order number 35356. And I just got a email, received an email. I should use my proper English, but I love to talk in slang. So we have ProLab order 35356 confirmation. So what's neat is I have a folder here of everything that I've ever ordered from ProLab Express. I mean, since the beginning of time. And it just goes all the way back. And you can look up past orders. Let's see what we have here. Oh, that's just, this says order placed has been shipped ground, so they will actually track it for you. So right now we're going to look at this one. It shows me a nice graphic representation of my entire order, what I got, what I ordered. Let's not use got. And there they all are, with my total at the bottom, with my credit card information, my billing address, my shipping address. So I can always look up what I've done. And what's cool is, sometime later today, I will receive another email that will say that order 35356 has shipped. And it'll give me the tracking number and everything, just like this one did. It says order 35208 placed with ProLab Express on, and gives the date, has been shipped, and my tracking number. I can go to UPS and look that up, find out exactly where it is. And it's just a really nice system.